Hello guys, it's Jonathan here, doing another Beyblade discussion, this time a news discussion as per usual around this time of the month. So let's just go ahead and start. So first up we have MeteorDragoon 370 Jolt. This comes with a launcher with a Dragon Winder. That's cool. We do unfortunately have a reused part here in 370. I get why we get a 3-sided ratchet, kinda has to have a 3-sided ratchet I feel, so that's good, but 70? I don't really like getting day 1 parts, but 360 is probably a better choice here, or make 350. That would have been great, but 370, not ideal. We also have Jolt, which is a really small looking flat, but with like an Accel type of gear count, so that's kind of weird. I mean, I'll give it a shot. It's a new idea at the very least, so not bad I guess. And now we have the Blade MeteorDragoon. This is our UX left spin bay that we've been waiting for a very long time. It looks very odd, so there's 3 main blades here. 2 of them are the same, whereas one of them is much larger, so it should be a bit offset. And this is of course based on El Drago, but also Dragoon. The motif is clearly based on Dragoon, but yes, the bay itself does seem to be inspired by El Drago, specifically MeteorDragoon. I mean, Meteor, also has rubber, which obviously, yeah, this is mostly based off of MeteorDragoon, I would say. But still the Dragoon reference there, and also arguably reference from Dark Knight Dragoon from 0G. That thing also had kind of an asymmetrical dragon pattern. And I guess with the name Dragoon, one could argue that this does kind of reference Dark Knight Dragoon, at least to some extent, which would be kind of interesting, but wonder if they'll ever mention that, if it does take any inspiration at all. But obviously the main thing here is, well, Dragoon from Bucket and Shoot and El Drago. So left spin UX bay with rubber, that's great. In terms of design though, I'm not sold on this, unfortunately. It really feels like I got hit with a monkey's paw because I really wanted white paint. I was very excited to see that in the drawn deck starter from last year, and then this year we've gotten Samurai Steel, which had white paint, but it felt very misplaced, and now we have the white paint here on MeteorDragoon as well. I don't necessarily think this is misplaced. It's not bad, but I really wish there was just a bit more something, maybe rubber, to break it up. I feel like it's just too white. Needed a little bit more here to break up that design. It's not bad. It still looks pretty solid, I would say. It's just I really wish there was just a bit more there. Overall, it is still a really cool looking bay. Interested in this one. Definitely the best December starter so far, at least in my opinion. So, well, that's cool, I guess. Now we have Random Booster Volume 8, with the prize being MummyCurse 755 Wedge. That is a terrible name, but anyway. We have a Wedge reprint here. I don't really like when bays reuse bits, however, I'm okay with this one. Usually it's like a gear bit or disc ball, so I think Wedge is a pretty good part to have as a reprint on a mainline bay. Can't complain too much about that one. It's like the one genuine defense bit that actually works well. We also have 755 as a ratchet. This is a new ratchet. A new simple ratchet. I really don't like how many of these we're getting. I'm a bit concerned for the future, but that's besides the point. This is much different than other 7-sided ratchets, so I guess that's kind of cool. Looks interesting. Again, I'm not big on these simple ratchets, but I'll at least give this one a chance. Color's fine though. And then we have the Blade MummyCurse, another UX blade. Again, aside from the terrible name, I actually like the way this bay looks. Has a lot of brown. The overall shape does remind me of Miniboros from Burst, and speaking of Burst, it also has a gimmick that reminds me of 2 different Burst bays in one, kind of. On the bottom part, there is that sort of plastic notch that apparently sticks out, which reminds me a lot of Beat Kukulkan. However, instead of being click-based, since we don't have actual clicks like that here, it starts off with this part coming outward as sort of a counterattack, and then will retract in as the battle goes on, like Shelter Regulus. It is a defense type blade, which is interesting, but that's just how it works. And the fact that I've referenced multiple burst bays is always a good thing, because I do like burst a lot, so this does look pretty cool. My only complaint about this bay, aside from the name, is why is that notch made out of plastic? That just sounds like such a massive, massive breakage or wear risk right there. I don't know why you wouldn't make that metal. Really, really careless design choice in my opinion. Beyond that, I like this bay a lot. It's just, I really wish they could have gotten that part right at the very least. As for the other pulls, I'm going to go ahead and speed run these and I'll talk about the parts as a whole. First up we have MummyCurse 460 Cyclone. Looks okay. Part selection isn't great, aside from getting another MummyCurse in here. Pegasus Brush, massive 385 Wedge. It's okay, I guess. Soul Brave, Charge 970 Transpoint. Honestly, probably the next best pull in here. Drawn Dagger 755 Glide, sure. And then Weiss Tiger 480 Low Rush, which I know people are going to like Low Rush here, so that's cool, I guess. So, I just want to talk about the parts as a whole, though. So the bit lineup here is pretty good on these recolors. Of the 5, we have another Wedge, so of course I do want you to have a sort of alternate way to build the prize bay through the other pulls, so here's your additional Wedge, that's nice. But the other reprint bits are pretty good. The only bad one here is Cyclone, that's a pretty L choice. However, beyond that, Transpoint and Glide, I think could have used some reprints, so we have them here. That's cool. And also Low Rush now for competitive people is huge, so I'm sure they're losing their minds about that. For Ratchets, another 75, good to have another pull of the new part here. But beyond that, the Ratchet lineup in here is actually horrendous, because you have 970, which is a solid choice, but beyond that, 385. That means half of the ratchets in here are simple ratchets. Could have at least a 965 if that has to be the case, but 385 again, that just sucks. Also 460 and 480 are in here, why? I don't really like getting day one parts, and I especially don't like getting 2 of them, especially when they're not good. You don't want 4 sides, don't need more day one parts. If it was one of them, maybe just 460, I could look past it, but both of them, this ratchet lineup is not great, especially if 755 doesn't end up being great. I don't even like that much as is because I don't like simple ratchets very much, but again, I'll give it a chance. But yeah, the ratchet lineup here, I think, is historically bad. Now the blade lineup is interesting. We have 2 of each blades per line, so of course both of the UX blades are MummyCurse, which again, good to get a reprint, of course, we usually do, so that's nice. For the BX blades though, Weiss Tiger hasn't gotten a reprint yet, so this is actually a pretty nice choice. I'm a fan of this one. But Drawn Dagger, really, we've already gotten a Drawn Dagger reprint in Random Booster Line 3, I believe it was. Could have pulled something newer. Could have been Crimson Garuda, maybe Shelter Drake, Triceratops, Samurai Caliber. All of these would have been better choices. We just did not need another Drawn Dagger. Not a great choice. As far as the CX stuff goes, both of the lock chips are actually pretty good. Pegasus and Soul, they're both newer. Good choices. The main blade choices are rough. Brave and Brush. Brush, okay, we have 3 of them, but they were all released in a Random Booster Select, so Brush, it's not great, but I'll take it. Brave, though, we just got this in the Shark Scale deck, so we did not need another Brave. Would have pulled something newer, maybe even Reaper. That would have been fine. Just did not need another Brave in here, I don't think. I will say the Assist Blade lineup is actually great. We have Charge and Massive. These were both of the assist blades for the secondary prizes from the past 2 random boosters, which did not receive reprints within those random boosters and have not been reprinted since. So actually, really good choices. I know they're not very good competitively, but I don't really care. They're just parts that needed reprints, so that's cool. So overall, I do like MummyCurse quite a bit, but the other pulls in here are pretty questionable to say the least. I don't think it's necessarily the worst random booster of all time or anything, but it's definitely not a great one. After that, we also just have some extra stuff. First up, Dragoon S 460 Rubber Accel is getting released as a booster. This was previously released in the 25th anniversary set, so for me, I've had this for months. I'm not going to be using the booster, but for people who did not buy that set, I think this is a great way to get it. But more importantly, it's a way to have a really, really accessible Rubber Accel, so that's nice. Could just get that in a booster. Again, very, very helpful. We also finally have some news on that orange and black SharkEdge that got announced like months ago. It's going to be SharkEdge 260 gear point. It's going to be some kind of arcade prize or something of the sort. It's probably going to be kind of hard to get your hands on. I don't know if it'll be horribly expensive, but probably more expensive than I'll care to pay for, so I don't imagine I'm getting this bay. I don't really care to anyway, but it's a cool hairy color. It'll exist. I figure I should probably mention it because of that, so there you go. Also, I believe this starts its campaign on December 12th, so I think it should be available from then on. As far as everything else goes that I mentioned, it's all December 27th, so pretty late. And also, if you spend 3,000 yen or more on December 27th, in Japan of course, then you will be given 1 of 3 bits. Just special recolors of the bits, which are Vortex, Orb, and Dot. You get 1 randomly. It's a cool promotion, I guess, not really that important. These are like amazing parts, and they're not like rare or anything either, so just a cool bonus, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, that's basically everything for the month. It's a decent month, nothing crazy. I guess MeteorDragoon probably is crazy, but the design, it's okay. I'm still a bit mixed on it, so for me it's not like that crazy, but I know for competitive people this is like probably going to be insane, so I'm sure they'll have fun with that. And I do like MummyCurse quite a bit. Again, reminds me of a Burst Bay, which is great for me, so pretty solid month all things considered, I would say, so not bad. Anyway, that's all for this video, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.